him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-magab, it's time for the only news that matters. And in a recent interview with On the Road to Rock with Clint Switzer podcast, Don explained why he and his Dokken bandmates decided in the beginning to split their songwriting royalties equally between the four members of the group. He said, Dokken was a very unusual band. When I formed the band, even though I'd been Dokken for years and years before I met George and Jeff and Mick, I'd already toured Germany twice. But when we finally came together, I said, let's make it simple. You write a hit, you write a hit, you write a hit. We'll just split it in four ways. It doesn't matter who writes what. May the best song win. And that's how it was. Now looking back, I could say it was a stupid thing to do because I wrote a lot of the hits. And I gave up 75% to the three of them. So instead of me getting $4, I got $1 and Mick got $1 and George got $1 and Jeff got $1. And the management took theirs and the accountants took theirs. And I thought, Jesus, I lost millions writing In My Dreams and Just Got Lucky or Alone Again. I mean, I can name a bazillion songs that I wrote by myself on the guitar and wrote all the music, but that's the deal we made. We were nobody. We weren't famous. Hey, if George wrote a hit, I got money. Jeff wrote a hit, I got money. Mick's the one that scored. He didn't write. We rehearsed the songs for weeks and go into the rehearsal studio, flesh it all out, pick the 12 best songs. Mick came in the studio for 4 or 5 days, knocked out his drums, and he'd go to the drug dealer, and then he'd head off to the Rainbow Bar and Grill, and I'd say, Mick, you scored. You made millions of dollars, and all you had to do was spend a couple of weeks playing drums. All right, so George heard this, and he said, this is always a thing with Don. He goes off about he wrote everything. That's bullshit. Jeff and I and Don and Jeff wrote some things. And Don wrote a thing, sometimes on his own, here and there, and important songs. But the bulk of the material was written by Jeff and I. And that's just the truth. Even the lyrics and the melodies and the titles were Jeff and I joke all the time. There was a thing called the TV Guide, and I would get all my titles and lyrics through the TV Guide, like Heaven Comes Down and Without Warning and Don't Close Your Eyes. Those were all movies. I remember looking at the TV Guide and seeing the names of these movies, and they were old movies, usually, and I'd go, oh, this is a cool name. Well, name a song to that. So Tooth and Nail was me and Mick and Jeff sitting around just going tooth and nail. Okay, run around the streets and start fighting. Silly fucking lyrics, but whatever. It worked. Don't Close Your Eyes or I'll Be There. I remember having the hook and the melody and everything in my head, and we based it on that. When Heaven Comes Down, I wrote that. I spent a whole night. I stayed up all night, and Jeff had gone home, and we were working in Anaheim in my home studio, and I was really frustrated with the song, and I wanted to finish it, and I had an idea for When Heaven Comes Down. When Heaven Comes Down was a movie. I stole the title from it, and then I came up with the lyrics. So there you go. Don thinks that he wrote all the songs. George came out and said, that's a lie. Honestly, I don't know who to believe. I think maybe Don did write some, and George and Jeff wrote, according to Don, Mick wrote nothing. But either way, I love me some old 80s Dokken, man. especially Tooth and Nail. I thought they were a really cool band that I think should have been bigger. They had all the songs and they had the glammy look for the time. I don't understand why they weren't as big as Rat. Because they were writing songs just as good as Rat. And of course, you know, even better than Motley Crue in some cases. Dokken was an awesome band, and I saw him a bunch of times in the 80s, but I did see him one time headline on the Button South Under Lock and Key tour, and it was completely packed because it was a little club. But I saw him open for Twisted Sister and Dio on Tooth and Nail. Then Under Lock and Key I saw, I believe, was it Judith Priest? Yeah, Judith Priest Turbo with Dokken. Yeah, that was under Tooth and Nail. Then I saw Monster of the Rock tour with Back for the Attack, but that was not a good performance from them. That really let me down. And was that the last time? Yes, that is the last time I saw Dokken with George Lynch, because they didn't come down for Dysfunctional, and they didn't come back for Back to the Attack. They basically broke up when that tour was over, and they all knew that Dokken was about to end after that tour, so they kind of didn't put no effort into playing. It was kind of like, well, we're gonna break up after this crap. Why do I even bother? You know, that's what it felt like. It felt like guys going through the motions on stage, and it was just terrible. You know, and the next time I saw Dokken after that was with Red Beach. Oh my God, Erase the Slate. What an album, man. What a great, amazing heavy metal album, man. That may be my favorite Dokken after the 80s shit. I would put that even over Breaking the Chains, Under Lock and Key, and Back for the Attack. I'd only put Tooth and Nail above Erase the Slate. Then Erase the Slate, then Under Lock and Key, Back for the Attack, and yeah, Breaking the Chains would be my least. I would put Dysfunctional over Breaking the Chains. So, yeah, anyway, yeah, I love me some old classic Dokken, and who knows? What do you think? Who do you think wrote those songs? I kind of think they're both kind of telling the truth. I think Dokken might have wrote some stuff on it. I mean, George admits he wrote some stuff on his own here and there. And Dokken's saying, well, you know, it was in my dreams and just got lucky. You know, In My Dreams, I think, is their biggest hit. Who knows? All I know is that I dig the last Dokken album. I think it's really great. And I like the third Sweet and Lynch album. I did not like the second one. I thought the first one was great. The second one, But this new one, I think it's as good, if not better, than the first one. So, hey, you know, what they're doing apart, whatever. Oh, what was the name of that? Is it Dirty Shirley? Oh, my God, that singer. That's one of the million of George Lynch's bands he has there. The singer of that Dirty Shirley band is unbelievably awesome. And that's another great album, that Dirty Shirley. But, man, all this other George Lynch stuff ain't grabbing me. But those two, well, really three. Two Sweet and Lynch and that Dirty Shirley, awesome stuff. And I'm digging this last Dokken album. Yeah, Don's voice is not the same. But in the studio, you know, it kind of like, you know, you listen to Dokken live, it sounds like he's up there talking. Where on the new album, he's kind of singing, but it's not the old Dokken, but it's not like how he is live. I think it's a great album. I think it smokes. I have no problem with it. So what do you all think? Do you think that Don is telling the truth? Or do you think that George is telling the truth? I think they're both telling the truth in some ways, you know. And both are lying. That's what I think. What do you think? Leave it in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching the only news that matters. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring the little notification bell. And hey, like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.